Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're taking a look at the massive updates and drones included in one of my favorite apps, NoInputMixer by Igor Vasiliev. Hello. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is Jade. That's my name. Don't wear it out. And I hope you're all doing good, yeah? This is How to App on iOS. Want to welcome our Wart Warriors. You can become one by clicking the join button down below. It's $1 a month, no more, no less, $1 a month. And you get custom emojis and you get a good feeling in the guts. And Thomas Christ does this. That's how you can do it right there. If you're on an iOS device or if you're on a desktop, you can hit the join button. Helps out. SuperChats, SuperStickers do help because YouTube don't like to give you a lot of money doing this stuff. But that's it. Or you can become a patron for $1 a month and I'll master your songs. And if you join a Patreon for $5 or over, you get to win apps like the one we're doing today because I don't know, there's a lot. I've got a handful of them to give away today. So that will be up on the Patreon page straight after the show. Boom! Hey, Falcro, straight off the bat. Yeah. Thank you, Falcro, for the 5 gifted memberships. A bunch of lucky people there. You rock. Good on you, Falcro. Thank you very much. Thomas Christ has said in the house. Jim Shannon's here rocking out. Joe Glenn, she's here. She's playing her flute. Ed Zielinski's here rocking. What's going on, Ed? And I see Heathen Granny hitting on Jim. Jesus. You're a predator. I'm joking. Thanks to Leela for shooting the dump over, sending people over. Today's featured artist is Gortium85. We'll be playing his song to close out the show. You know what I'm saying? And Lurky McLurkson's in the house. Look at her. There she is. She's chopping and lurking the gherkin. Oh, yeah, it all rhymes. That's a da-da. Good to know you're okay, Kim. For those who are in Texas, a big storm coming through there, and we hope everybody's all right. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it didn't. Well, I'm guessing it didn't hit you as you're stuffing your face, Kimbo. So, huge hurricane, Kimbo. Nom, 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 nom. All good. If you're watching and sneaking around in the background, hello to you as well. Now, lots of changes coming up here on the channel, right? You'll want to pay attention next Sunday here. Big things happening, yeah? Big changes coming up here on this channel. You may like them, yeah? I'm very excited about them. It's going to be a lot of work for me to do over the coming next few months. But I'll tell you all about it on the rant next week. Firstly, I need to tell you about something that you may be interested in following. So, normally, music gets released, yeah? In this community, across all communities, people record and write music and record it and release it, and it's available at a date, and you can just go and download it and find it. Not me. I like doing things different. So, I've been working on a project lately, and it's fitting because this app that we're looking at today has been involved in this project somewhat. And this project is, well, you got to find it. You got to find out what it's all about. It's up to you, not me, to promote this. And it's already begun. And I implore you, if you would like to be involved in this, it should be a load of fun. You can begin by joining my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, there is my Instagram right there in the chat. Look for Ridiculosity. The puzzles have begun. Over the next 4 weeks, there will be puzzles, QR codes, and things that will lead you to a whole bunch of conclusions where you'll have to find where the album is and what it is and what it's called. And for those who answer the questions and find out the relevant answers, there will be a giveaway for you at the end. Yes, it is like an Easter hunt, an egg hunt to find the album, you don't know what it's called, you don't know what the name is. I am doing an ARG, motherfucker. So, it's going to be very cool. The first image dropped yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, and there will be treasures that will show up in these shows too. So, you'll need to pay attention. You'll never know when they'll turn up. The first one appeared yesterday, and there it is. That is the first hint over many that will be coming over the next few weeks of what this thing is. I don't like doing typical music. If you know what my musical history over the many years of doing music, and this is something completely out of the wheelbox, something that, so you can follow me on Instagram, and there will be a drop later today that may lead you down a garden path to the next clue. So there's that. We've got that out the way. I'm not telling you anymore. You've got to find out what it's all about and what it is. But let me tell you, it's all about helping you. There's a clue. Okie dokie. We are going to jump into today's app now. I have covered this app previously. September last year, this app dropped called NoInputMixer by Igor Vasiliev. He makes fantastic apps, very unique soundscapes, drones. It's not everyone's cup of tea, yeah? So just let's put that out there at the start. This may not be your cup of tea. This is drone-like, soundscapey, meditational music, all this kind of stuff. Let's firstly jump over to the Beat community and find out more about what's just dropped. Chem OK has got price drops for Snakebud, I do believe. Snakebud is on sale from Chem OK. We got Show MIDI is at an update. Chord by Roman, I can't say his name, is free. So if you want to go grab this, Chord, it's on the App Store. It's free. Go grab it. Audio Kit's got a price drop on Bass 808. Harmonizer just got an update. It now works for iPhone users as well as iPad. ChemLK updated FunkBud. Blease has Blease Vox on sale. 4Pockets has apps on sale, and it is one of the ones we're looking at tomorrow, which is something everybody's been hassling me to do a show for a long time, Evolver FX. I'm really excited. So let's take a look at some price drops over here. Crystal's Harmonizer by Eventide Elastic Drums is on sale. Snakebud, as we said, 808 bass. You can see Analyzer Tuner by 4Pockets. There it is, Evolver FX. Currently $8.99. I'm finally doing a show on it. It's a little bit complex, so you may need to like put on your professor hat tomorrow to come and watch the tutorial. I'm going to go deep. It's a good one. But today, as I said, we are looking at NoInputMixer. Here it is here, and it is $15.99, okay? You can use this on iOS, iPhone, Mac, iPad, so it's completely universal. So go grab it. It is $15.99. And now I need to tell you a brief history, which I did. So there is a previous video on this. You can go and watch the previous video I did, which explains it really deeply, yeah? But I'm going to give you an overview quickly today because you may not know what no input mixing is. Well, it was invented by a Japanese artist by the name of Toshimaru Nakamura. So because I'm into this stuff, I've been a big fan of no input mixing for a very, very long time. And you can see here, if you know what a mixing desk is, or a little mixer that you can see there, basically when you use a mixer, you input a microphone or a sound device like a guitar or something. Let's have a look. I've got one right here. Here's a mixer right here. And you would input your guitar or mic, and then the output would go out to speakers or wherever you like. With input mixing, it's completely different. So you're not actually putting in an input. You are taking the output from somewhere, from its own channel. So here's channel 1 here. So I would put a mic in here and take that mic and put that into the output of itself. So it's sending a signal back through itself. And you guessed it, what does that normally create? That normally creates feedback. Okay, it normally creates feedback. When you put a microphone in front of a speaker, it normally feeds back, right? So we're putting a mic cable into the input of a level, of a channel and then feeding that from the output back in. And if you change the volume enough and the EQ, you can start to develop drones and tones and quite interesting stuff. So Toshimuro Nakamura has been the master of this. He pretty much invented this style of music, and a lot of people, it's a feedback loop, exactly, yeah. So a lot of people make music this way, especially for drones, and because you can create such fantastic textures and stuff like this. And so Igor Vasiliev decided to finally put this into an app. And, this saves you destroying your mixing desks because, it can get pretty hectic. And I just love this app for what it does. So he's recently done an update for it. This is Igor's website here, which is motion-soundscape.blogspot. And you can find out all the information on the schematics and how all this works, which we'll look at the schematics as we go through. So basically, you are just feeding back a line back into itself, and you have multiples of these. It's very, very cool. Excuse me while I'm coughing because I'm still sick. All right, let's come back over here. Let's open up a project for you that I made. And let's play it. We've got a whole bunch of these running here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running here, and a piano. And let's have a play and let you hear some of the soundscapes and that you can create with this. And then I'll run through the new sounds and just the basics of how to get it up and running once again. All right, let's hit play. I'll shut up. It's Ouch. Awesome. So let's close this out of here, and we'll show you how to use this thing, because it's quite fun to make all this stuff. Alrighty, righty. So you can use this two ways. You can use this as an instrument. So we'll open up an audio track. You can load it as an instrument. Let's see. You can go NoInputMixer, grab it. Or you can load this as a MIDI effect, as an effect. Yeah. So you can pump other sounds through this and then add this no input mixing, so you can generate that through and then back onto itself. So in here, you can go and add it right there as an effect. So you've got two ways to use it. We're going to focus firstly on using it as an instrument. This is the interface. Now, it can be a little bit confusing to look at. There are three views that are most important. This is the individual channel view, right? So this is your individual channel. To the side here, you've got 7 channels to mix with. So think about it as a mixer, yeah? So 7 channels. And as you click on each of these channels, you'll see the number here changes to 4, 5. So this is letting you know this little square section here, up to where it says channel, these are all reflective of each channel, right? And the last 3 sliders here, these are your overall output gain, filters, and stuff. So these 3 are for the overall, and as you change through these 7 channels, you have these options for the sounds. Now up the top here, you have these 2 other ways to look at these things. If I click single, this now gives us the overall look of the mixer. So we have all the channels here in one go, 1 to 7, and our output. You can, where these little arrows are, you can click these buttons and you can get more options, more things to do, like, you know, your amplifiers, the noise, a whole bunch of things. Even when you click this little EQ button, gives you some EQ. You can change your EQ around. So you have a whole lot of ways to get to things. Plus, if I hit the mixer button over here, I get all of these effects. So each channel has its own effect, and you get the options of delays, flanger, chorus, tremolo, formant, bit crusher, and glitches. Again, if you want to get the full understanding of how this works, I did a very, very deep dive on the original video. Now, this was recently updated a week ago, so if you're not seeing this as an update right now, it may have already been updated on your iOS App Store. It came out a week ago, just so you know. I'm going to be using a mixture of I like using this section here, right, to see my individual channels. So each channel has a mute button, and you can control the volume, right, of each. So you can see when I bring up this volume, track 1 comes up. Now, you're probably saying, why is there no sound? How do you make sound with this thing? If I turn up so this is the overall volume here. So if I turn up the volume, there's nothing. Turn up the level of the track 1, we've got a little bit of noise in there. If you listen, tiny bit of noise. That's because I'm not inputting anything into itself. It's just a clean track with no input at the moment. While it is set like this, I can introduce some noise. We have a little noise button here. So let's just run through quickly what you get in each track. Yeah. So you have an amp, which can be chosen, a whole selection of amps, right? So your amp input, and again, you've got a noise here, and you can actually create different types of noise: white, pink, brown, blue, and even a Geiger meter, which is really cool. So there's the noise. Now, you know, why is this better than a normal a normal input mixer? You don't get options like this. You can't just swap out amps and stuff and change the tubes and the limiters and have things like a Geiger. You'll pretty much only be able to create some white noise, you know, but here you got brown noise and all that other kind of stuff. Down below, we have like this. Just come over here now. There is a schematic here that you can. Whoops, we'll go to close. We've got a little help guide here. If you ever want to look at this, and you have a schematic, you know, if you read all this, your brain will probably melt. But you also have along here, not only do you have your amp, so this basically, this schematic shows you how everything works. So here's your input. You need to input something in here, and it runs along this wall of order of things. So you've got your noise type in here. Then you've got your turbo mode. So you can choose your amp, overload protection, your filters, your limiter. You've got an OP amp type. That is this one here. So you can choose one of these amp types down here. You also have a limiter. And you have this like over this protection to kind of stop things from, blowing out your ears. And you have some tube saturation down here as well. EQ, so you've got a shelf and a cutoff. You've got notch and peak and high pass and pass filters. And you've got some send effects, return effects. There's a lot going on here. Again, I'm really here today to go through a lot of the new presets because they're really fun, and just to show you how to make a noise off the bat, how to get something going straight away. So we have options, and they can be found. So when we click through these individual channels here, I'm going to stick with channel 1. Over here where it says channel, this is where we choose what we're inputting. So the first two, you have this input left and right. If you choose this, one of these two, so these are both your amps, stereo left and right. If you choose this, then it will be waiting for a sound to come into it from a previous app, like we have this set up here. So I would use that here and choose either one of these, and then that would allow the sound from this to come into this one. Okay? Let me just turn that off. So we're not going to focus on that one yet. The easiest way to get something started in here is to come over to your input and either use an insert pre or an insert post. Why is there a pre and a post? The pre relates to where the effects will come in if you add effects. So if you add effects to this, it will be before the input. If you do post, it will be after. But this is how you plug. Just imagine me putting a plug out of the back of my mixer and into the same input in the same channel. So let's choose an insert pre. And now we have it ready to go. So I should be able to start generating sound by turning up our overall input. Still nothing. And now if I start bringing up the level here. Whoa. So now we're starting to get a feedback loop. So we're now feeding back within itself. And this is where it gets interesting, because you can start to shape this stuff by using EQs and your amp. I can give it some gain, which might start to distort it a bit. We can change the input type. Let's add a bit of noise. Let's change it to white noise. Let's bring our limiter in down here. Let's change our tube. Now things are definitely going to change once we start using things like our EQ and filters here. So it's currently set to a shelf. So we got a low cut and high cut. And let's change our overall filter to a pass. We've got a notch filter, or we've got a peak. Now this is where it gets fun, because you can start adding effects to this stuff. So over here where it says channel, let's go over to channel 1. Here's our effect 1. I'm going to choose something like a chorus. And we need to make sure this is going into itself. So everything's sending within itself. It's all feedback looping into itself. And let's bring up the volume. Oops, I chose. There we go. So now you can hear we've got this chorus sound happening. And now we're starting to build some movement here. So this is what you want to get with this stuff. So because you've got multiple channels happening here, you can build up these sounds and start to automate them, and they will start to get movement and start to create these textures. Let's move to channel 2 and see what we can do with this. So we're going to go up here and choose our input post this time. Bring up the volume. There we go. We've got now a lot of these. You can find the sweet spot just by small movements sometimes, and get some movement happening with these sounds. Let's add some reverb to this overall. You've got a reverb here, some convolution reverbs, all these different reverbs. You can start to hear these two tones are playing off each other. Let's add this Geiger meter in here. So it's going to start creating more movement. Now we're on channel 2. We can go into our effects here and choose another effect. Let's add something like a maybe a flanger. We're going to send it into itself. Give it some volume. Now that flanger is giving us these different tones. And now it's creating it. Now the thing is, the more tracks you add here, they matter. Whatever you add next is going to send into itself. You can send stuff into itself and into other channels, and things will. What I'm trying to say is, what you create in the next channel will affect the previous channels. That will happen as well. So now that we have these two set up, let's include this effects channel here. So if I add this, the sound disappears. It's gone, because it needs to have some input coming into it as an effect. So this is where on channel 1 in this one, we're going to choose an input 1. And if I bring the level up, we should start to hear the previous sounds we had. There they are. So now these two sounds we just made are now being fed into this version of the app. And we can then take this to another level, give it its own gain. And then we can put an effect on this channel. Say we put in like a formant. Now in these effects we have things like high res and lo-fi. We can send these out to return signals, because we have return signals over here. What do I send that one to? I send that one to return 1. So now I'm sending this effect to a return, turning that up and then returning that back into itself. You can send things back into themselves over and over and over and over and over again till shit gets totally wild. Let's make sure, let's put some reverb on this as well. Let's introduce a new track here, a pre. A nice low hum. Let's just mute this and see if we can get some variation naturally just through the enough of its feedback on itself. Hey. So let's just turn this down for a moment. What's really cool is you can automate all this stuff too. So let's give you an example of that. I'm going to load up an LFO. And we can now go into this effect. And we can, so what channel are we on? We're on channel 2. We want to affect this. We want to make this notch filter move up and down. So this is channel 2. And we're going to head over here, choose channel 2. This is the EQ. Is that what we're doing? The frequency. So we're going to turn this on. MIDI channel 1. Hook this up to MLFO, hit play, and we're off, but we want to slow this shit down. So let's go in here and there we go. So we should have some movement here. There we go. Now let's bring in channel 3. And we're starting to build a drone. Now let's add something like an effect, just like an L tether quickly. Add some reverb in there. And you're starting to build a drone. right, we're at our halfway point, just over. Let's run our ad. We're a little bit over, so I'm a bit late today. Let's do that. Every day on the channel, run an ad, so YouTube gods are happy. You can avoid the ad by skipping it or just becoming a YouTube Premium subscriber. Let's run the ad. Let's do it now. Done. And you may or may not have gotten an ad. Let me quickly tell you what's happening this week. Tomorrow, we're taking a look at Evolver from 4 Pockets. It's pretty deep, pretty cool. It's a sick app. You can't deny it. It's a rad app. Then we're taking a look the day after a Gig Fast Lite. It's a pretty cool multi-channel parametric amplifier for your guitar. Then we have a very special guest artist at this week's interview, which is Mike Haggith. And he's coming on to talk about his music. Yes, awesome stuff. That's all we'll cover for today. Remember, as I said at the start, please follow me on the Instagram if you would like to join in the game of trying to discover more about the album I'm working on. There is my Instagram. Here is your first clue. It is already on Instagram. You'll need to work it out. There will be another clue drop today about what is happening with this new album. There will be QR codes, videos, a whole lot of things I've been working on that will go for the next few weeks that will lead you to where my new album can be found and what it is called. You'll have to work it out. All right, let's get back into this. I am now going to run through some of the presets in here because the presets are the star of this show. Let's just make a brand new project here. And that was the one thing I thought was missing with this when it came out was the strong amount of presets. I wanted more. And now there are so many more. So look at all these presets. So a lot of these ones that say drone at the front, they are mostly all new. Yeah. Now, a lot of them give you the idea of what these are. So it'll say channel 7, insert delay post, channel 7, insert format post. So they tell you what they are, but all of these drone ones, these are just, they're fantastic. If you can't make something really cool just out of starting from these, then you're doing it wrong. So you got scapes. There's a whole lot of new drones in here. I'm just going to go through all these Robert Dowell ones because they are just awesome. So to choose a preset, again, you want to know the full story, go watch the previous video. This is an update video. So you choose one, hit set, and you're good to go. Close, and you can see it's already making sound. So all we need to do is bring up the level. And right now, there are 4. You can see in this preset, there are 4 of them running here. Nice panning as well. Let's check out the next one. So the way to use this to its potential is when you watch somebody making sounds live with a no input mixer is small adjustments on each channel. Let's check out the next patch. I love this stuff. I love this stuff to go to sleep to. Just so calm. Feedback, actually feeding back on itself and creating rhythm and creating a melody. It's just beautiful. When you mix this stuff with things like noises or Igor's other apps, very easy to start building some nice stuff. Now again, this isn't going to be for everybody. I mean, there are some people out there probably think this isn't music, but then I'll tell you what, there's a lot of music out there I listen to that sucks. So all these drones can be found in here. There's so many of them. They're so cool. Hey, Shaggy girl. All right. So the point is today to show you. Just going to save this sucker. Watch. Did you pay attention? Maybe not. So out of the box, just quickly, if you load this as an instrument, here we go. In any DAW that you load it into, yeah. So we're going to do NoInputMixer. All you need to do to get it making sound is kick off, find a preset, find a random drone, what one's called radio weather station inside a plastic pipe. Bang, hit set, go. It's ready to go. It's playing, and all you need to do is bring up the level, and we've got sound. As I said, if you want to go back and watch the detailed explanation back from September, go and watch that. No input mixing can be a little bit complex if you want to get into it, but very rewarding for creating soundscapes and the like. Hey, Mr. Smith. You want to choose another preset? Boom. It's an acquired taste, let me tell you. But this is the perfect update that I've been wanting for a long time. And if you're into this kind of stuff, get into it because it is awesome. One last time, I'm going to let you know before we get out of here. As I said, it is, was it $15.99? It's totally worth your time. Thanks, Thomas, for putting the link into the original show. Go and check it out. It's not for everybody, but it's for those who are into noise, soundscapes, drones, all that kind of stuff. This is just, it's wonderful. I love it so very much. If you would like to follow the progress to find out more about what is happening, just to wrap up before we play our featured artist, I am releasing a new album. Over the next 4 weeks, there will be drops all over my Instagram and here on the YouTube channel and on Facebook, with QR codes and places that will lead you down puzzles and paths to try and find out what this album is, what's it called, where can you get it, what's it going to do to you. So keep your eyes peeled if you want to be involved. Once again, the first clue dropped yesterday. You'll have to find out what this means. There are hidden messages in every piece of art and every image that will be dropped over the next 4 weeks. And the person who finds the album, finds what it's called, finds where it is, will get a whole bunch of prizes. All right, let's get out of here. Today's featured artist is Gortium85. I'm going to play his track right now. Let me get it all ready up here. This is somewhere. I did have it ready to go. This is Pseudoscience, The Traveller, Space, Ambient, Electronic Music. Let's remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. And we'll all rise together. Let's do it right now. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Boom.